right, everybody. Welcome in. It is Phil Nagy and Kit Nagy joining shortly here on Nagy on Sports. It's the Week 8 NFC Game of the Week in our official 2022 season sim. All the rosters are updated, all the numbers are updated, and we are excited to bring this one to you. Let's look at Desmond Ridder, who is a slight tick above Marcus Mariota, so we have had him starting. I'm not sure how realistic that is or when that change might happen, but I think Ridder definitely has a higher ceiling than does Marcus Mariota, even though they brought him over in free agency and paid him a little bit. So excited to bring this one to you. This one was voted on by you, the fans of the channel. Sweet looking white jerseys. I tried to go with an alternate jersey that was the least football teamy and maybe as close to the Commanders as we can get here, of course, because we have the Washington Commanders in Atlanta to take on the surprising 4-3 Atlanta Falcons. So both these teams doing pretty well. Again, this game was voted on by you, the fans, on our Discord channel, which we very much appreciate. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers. You guys are awesome. And I am actually going to hop off and get this game kicked off and toss it over to Kit, who's going to call this one for you. Enjoy the day, everybody. Really appreciate it. You guys have an awesome one. As always, go Browns. Ladies and gentlemen, now on the mic, Kit Nagy.
Well, I'm going to thank Phil for that. Phil was had pre-recorded both this game and the other game we're going to get to. I had just now had the opportunity to get to it, so sorry for the late one, but we're going to get a return here from the Falcons with the first opportunity to crack at this game. So welcome in, George. Welcome in, Kishan. Glad to have you both here, and Phil is off vacationing in Georgia, I believe, so he's actually near where this game is happening, as Desmond Ridder is going to get the first snap of the day here for the Atlanta Falcons, who have surprisingly done very well. That's why this game got voted on here at 4-3. Desmond Ridder seems to have gotten this squad going here. So back to pass, surveying the field, got a man, hits him quickly, and his first completion good for 14 yards to London, the rookie. So the two rookies connecting there on the first play of the game. Nicely done. Out to the outside, that's Pitts with the reception. Now 2 for 2, 17 yards for Ridder. 2nd and 7. Little bunch formation tight to the left, back to pass, surveying, packet collapsing and sacked. That D-line pressure as Montez Sweat gets home to Desmond Ridder, and he's going to take that big sack back, and now it's a 3rd and 18 from the 38-yard line here. Out of the gun is Desmond Ridder, 3rd and 18. He's scrambling and just going to throw that one away and look to punt this one. Looks like he wasn't able to find a man downfield, so just elects to throw that ball away, and so the Falcons will quickly punt here. Yeah, so Kishan, my buddy who at least was a Commanders fan, I don't know if he's going to stick with the team. He's pretty despondent with the ownership and everything going on there in Washington and the name change and everything else. But I don't know how he felt about that. A lot of folks did like Dotson. I think he's going to be very good as well. I did like him, but I'm not so sure he was a big fan. So we'll see how he is in the NFL. I think he could be very good, though. Now, handing the ball off quickly. It will be a quick tackle for loss as Jarrett gets back behind the line of scrimmage to make a TFL. So, taking the snap, surveying the field, scrambling in the end zone dangerously, and able to get away is Carson Wentz. Just barely able to escape the pocket on that one and avoid a safety. Gains that 1 yard back, 3rd and 10. Back to pass is Wentz. In the end zone again, look out! Out of the end zone safely, just barely enough to get away. I thought for a minute he might get sacked, but both times able to get back to the line of scrimmage is Carson Wentz. And so a 3 and out for Hotlanta, who will punt here from their own end zone. Yes, Carson Wentz, as Kishan has dubbed him. You're right. Carson, ever since that injury, never seemed really quite the same. And there are times where he is kind of wonder what he's doing there. He can be a bit of an all-or-nothing type quarterback where he's either your worst enemy or your best friend for your team. So now handing off the ball up the middle is Ritter to Patterson, and Cordell Patterson, his first touch of the day. He'll get 2 on the carry. So a little trips left look here for Atlanta. Under center is Ritter, and Desmond Ritter hands off again to Cordell Patterson, who carries for another 2 yards, 3rd and 6. Not a lot going in that middle of the formation there. Now to the gun, throws quickly, and he's got a man. That is good for a first down there. And Drake London on the reception, his second of the day, for a first down. I don't like Wentz. Now I think they're kind of married to Wentz, and taking a flyer on Baker is expensive as it is. The Browns aren't going to give him up for free, as we have seen. Otherwise, he'd already been traded or cut. So they want to get some value out of him, and I don't think the Commanders are going to be that team, although I do like Baker better than I like Wentz. I think if it were me, I would take a chance on him. But they are kind of married to that contract now with Wentz. It's a quick outside throw there. He's got his man, Cordell Patterson, out of the backfield, but that's not going to be enough. That's going to bring up a 4th and 6 here, and a field goal attempt due to the good field position, even though their offense really didn't go very far on that drive. The kick is up, and it looks like it's got the leg. I believe, yes, it is good. So, no, I don't think he'll end up in Atlanta. I think that ship sailed with the signing of Carson Wentz. So Carson Wentz in that locker room, and the contract he signed is going to make that probably a not very likely. Or actually, I guess he was traded, but still, it's not a very likely outcome that Baker would end up with Washington, although I do agree, I think he's better than Carson is. Scrambling now is Carson Wentz, and just elects to throw that one away into the sidelines. 2nd and 10. I believe they still have Heineke on the roster as their backup to Carson Wentz, so I believe their backup would be Heineke. But I am not 100% sure on that. So Dotson, his first reception of the game, speaking of the rookie, and he picks up a first down for these Commanders. Back to passes Wentz. He's going to run for it, and he's going to slide near the 50. That's now his 3rd rush of the game, and his first for any actual yardage, 2nd and 5. Now, hit as he's thrown. He's got a man. Terry McLaurin almost... Did he catch that? No, he did not. He came out late. I thought he had it. He had the jump ball situation. Looked like he came down with the ball, but fortunately jarred loose before he could secure the catch for Terry McLaurin. Out of the gun. He's going to scramble. Got a man coming across, but just a bad throw from Wentz. Now 1 for 4 for only 19 yards. Yuck. He's had an ugly start to this game for Carson Wentz, as pressure has been all around him early and often in the early goings of this one. So, Kishan, a lot of folks think that he's asking about the Njoku deal. A lot of folks think he's overpaid, that he's unproven, that he's had all this time, and I don't believe any of that. I actually think it's a really good deal. I think, elevating him to tight end 1, giving him the opportunity to succeed. Now, he's got to go do it. I think he can, though. I think he's got an opportunity to go over 1,000 yards this season, possibly in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 touchdowns. And I think he's going to be worth every penny when it is all done and said, as Cordell Patterson is going to get a first down there for the Falcons on a rush out to the outside here, bringing up a 1st and 10. But I think it's a good deal. I think you're going to look at that in 2 or 3 years and think that you got Njoku on the cheap, especially when all of the best tight ends are going to sell or are going to have contracts for probably considerably more. And the fact that they got the deal done early meant you're actually going to end up paying him less, because I think he'll prove himself in this system, especially with Watson throwing him the ball and him being the primary target as a tight end for him, that kind of safety blanket role, which I think he'll really have a lot more targets. as a result of that, and his production will go up. He's really good on yards per reception now that he seems to have gotten a lot of the deep ball here. He's got a man, but defense is right there too, and unable to connect. So a punt coming. But I don't think that there's enough credence given to the fact that Njoku probably is going to have a great year for the Browns. What a punt there, all the way down to the 1 where it is touchdown. So that's where the Commanders and Wentz will take over. But no, I think it's a great deal. I think we're all going to look back on that as an excellent, especially the timing of it. I think AB's playing, again, that 3D chess where a lot of folks, even like Jay Crawford is saying, doesn't like the deal, thinks it's too much money, and I find that so disappointing as a take because it's so short-sighted, really. It's not taking enough into account in terms of what the future potential. Yes, you are at a certain point on contracts, you are making a gamble on the future. What is the future of this player? And I think that they're gambling on Njoku. His new role is going to be good, and I think I agree with that assessment, and I think they're some of the best in the business at doing that, and I think down the road it's going to look like an awesome contract. So, I could be wrong, and they could be wrong also, and it could be that Njoku doesn't end up, taking that next big step, but I think he's well set up to do so, and I think it is a safer bet than a gamble. As a punt out of the shadow of his own, in his own end zone there, because the Commanders had gone 3 and out on that drive. They need to pay who? Who are you saying the Commanders need to pay? As Desmond Ridder back to pass. Oh, Terry McLaurin, yes. I absolutely agree that T-Mac needs to get paid. The dude has been, he's a 3rd-round draft pick that has played like a 1st-round draft pick for pretty much his entire career. The dude's been awesome. And, I think he needs to get paid. And if I were the Commanders, I'd be paying him. I think that's the right move. I agree. Out of the gun, 3rd and 5. Ridder surveys, finds a man downfield, but unable to connect, a little bit wide and outside towards the perimeter. So yet another field position aided field goal attempt here. But a very, very long one. Looks like it's long enough, but off of the crossbar, or the upright, excuse me. And that had the leg. It was a long, long kick, but just pings it right off of that upright, and unfortunately no good, which is going to give Washington their best field position of the day. Let's see if Carson Wentz can capitalize. Empty set here. He's got the ball out to T-Mac there, and Terry McLaurin able to pick up about 8 on that reception. Yeah, it really was. Actually, I was surprised, George, how far he actually looked like he could have made that one from about 65, maybe 67-ish, because he had tons of leg, just hit that upright. Back to pass is Wentz, and picks! That one is jumped as the linebacker, number 54, I'm not sure who that is on their roster, we might see here. Evans picks the ball there. So 1st and 10 is that Wentz gives the ball right back to Atlanta with, yet again, great field position for Desmond Ridder. He is hit as he tries to deliver that one and ends up short on the dirt. Lucky that one wasn't picked right back. Up the middle for Cordell Patterson. Not a lot there. Only 8 rushes for only 12 yards now. They've got Mariota, they've got Ridder here. Madden seems to think Ridder might get the nod, and I tend to agree that, if Ridder actually plays up to his potential, is a nice reception there for London for a 1st down. That was a contested ball he came back to and then made a nice play for extra yards after catch here. We're going to get a look at it here as he makes a little breaking comeback route, and then just nice little turnaround to get extra yards there on the 1st down. But I think Ritter may, especially if he's able to show, some of that ceiling they're hoping to see from him, early in the goings. And I don't think he'll start right away. I think they're going to start Mariota, week 1. But, later into the season, you might very well see Desmond Ritter out here for Atlanta as he is back to pass. Out, a little flat route out to his tight end. And he's got about 5 yards there, 2nd and 5 there as Ferkser on his second reception. Little stretch play to Cordell Patterson outside fighting tacklers, but only able to find a little bit of room, and actually is going to lose a yard there on that one, 3rd and 6. Yeah, it really was a nice smooth grab. You're right, Kishan. I liked that. It was a nice catch indeed. A nice look at the stiff arm attempt from Cordell Patterson as we're going to get the matrix look and throws off Chase Young, but unable to get much further. So I'm not so sure why they showed that as if it was a highlight for Cordell. Back to pass, Desmond Ritter is flush from the pocket and not able to get away from the pressure as yet another sack here for the Commanders, and that's Payne's first sack of the day. Now 2 sacks on the day for Atlanta and only 1 for the Commanders. Or excuse me, other way around. 2 for Commanders, 1 for Atlanta. And Atlanta is going to have to punt here, 4th and 16, and they're on their 45, so not in field goal range. So instead elects for the coffin corner, but not a good one at that as it shanked off the foot. And that one ends up out at the 29. So Wentz is going to get fairly decent field position again here. He's got to do something better than throw a pick, though, and try to capitalize on a drive here. The 23rd allegation came out. My understanding is that whoever the 23rd allegation is from saw the HBO special and jumped on the bandwagon. I think it's more of the same. If there is actual merit to any of them, which I'm not, I don't know. I wasn't there, but if there is merit, then it would make sense. But my suspicion is it's yet another, somebody that Busby probably reached out to. The fact that this was all done on a Instagram post. A little bit suspect when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't know. I mean, but again, I wasn't there, so I have no idea. Time of it is interesting, though. Back to pass, and Wentz is able to connect there. He is now 5 for 9, 55 yards in the interception. Back to pass. And T-Mac open out on the sideline. He's going to get that ball and catch for about 4 yards on that one. Yes, his numbers are not great. Is almost picked off again there, and that route jumped again. So Wentz having a bit of a rough start to this one, 3rd and 6, as Atlanta's defense has rather been smothering here for Wentz, and the pressure's going to get to him very quickly on that one. As shooting the gap is Oliver and, Grady Jarrett. No, it was Oliver. I thought I saw Oliver. I don't know why it showed Grady Jarrett as a stat line there, but anyway, so Washington is going to elect to kick another long one. This one's from 60 and a half, but that is woefully short. And going to give Atlanta an opportunity here with some really nice field position again. Now from the 49, based on where that one was spotted. So a little outside zone handoff, and Cordell Patterson's not going to get a lot there. 10 carries, 12 yards at a 1.2 a clip. Rate is not good for Cordell Patterson, as Desmond Ritter is going to get sacked very quickly. That's Allen's first. So now 3 sacks on the day for Washington, 2 for Atlanta. 3rd and 19, out of the gun. Surveying the field, gonna air it deep. He's got a man, one-on-one coverage in the end zone. Jump ball, incomplete. And 4th and 19 will bring out the punting unit for Atlanta. That was Jonathan Allen's 4th sack on the young season at Week 8, which sets up that punt. So, Carson Wentz under center. A little heavy formation brings a tight end in motion. A little wham concept here, but very quickly read by the defense. And blowing that one up is Grady Jarrett. There's Grady Jarrett as he gets his 3rd tackle of the day. First TFL. 2nd and 13. Out to the outside, he's got some room. That's a nice little bounce cut he made out there to get outside of the contain as Gibson gets a bunch of yardage. So that's the best run of the day there for these Washington Commanders. Nice little bounce. 9 rushes, 11 passes for the Commanders. Outside Wentz, he's just going to scramble here and go and take off with the ball. Slides, and he's going to pick up 8 yards, 2nd and 2. Yeah, actually, Kishan, I fully agree with that. It's wow, what an inside zone read that was. It just opened up nicely, and Gibson takes advantage fully there for a nice first down. He got the 2 yards and then a bunch more afterwards. I agree. Watson did look really good so far. Obviously, it's routes on air. It's no pads, shorts, just a helmet, but definitely seems to throw it with a certain grace and ease that just you don't expect from many quarterbacks at all. Baker kind of has to put some muscle behind it. You can see the effort he puts into his throws, and yeah, it gets a lot of speed and he spins it pretty well, but not the ease which you saw from Watson. And very impressive stuff. 3rd and 3 here. Hand off to Gibson up the middle. He stiff arm and does get that first down. Nice, tough run up the middle there. As Jones was in on the tackle for that one, as well as Oliver. 1st and 10 for the Commanders. Hey, Wendell, welcome in. Just me on the mic tonight as Phil is on vacation in Georgia, near to where this game is occurring, but or at least virtually occurring. But 2nd and 4 for the Commanders. Back to pass. He sees a man deep. He's got it in the end zone, but unable to come away with the ball as Carson Wentz kind of wants that one back. I think he actually had his man. Had a nice ball there, but if this receiver had been able to come down with it, that'd have been a touchdown. 3rd and 4. Inside slant move, and he connects there with his receiver. That is his big tight end, Sims. And yes, I agree, Kishan, we're definitely going to do a lot more vertical passing. Touchdown for the Commanders there. Who was that? That was, I'm not even sure who that is. But Commanders hit his tight end deep in the end zone. Wentz, nice ball to the corner of the end zone there. And I just caught the tail end of it as I had looked away at the chat. And off his back foot, kind of a tough contested throw here. And the Commanders score with a beautiful ball to his tight end in the back corner of the end zone. Yes, vertical passing is going to be a much bigger part of the game, as well as the RPO and quick reads, and boot plays for sure going to be scary from Deshaun. I agree. And no, Wendell, I'm not past my bedtime. I'm over here on the West Coast, so it's actually not that late for me. It's only about 9 o'clock here, but yeah, I had to make sure I got to these as Phil is on vacation. He pre-recorded the 2 games of the week for me to call, and I just hadn't been able to get to him till now. But he'll be back here soon, so I'm going to try to get the next one tomorrow, which will be the Kansas City, as a nice little strike over the middle there to Drake London getting involved again. Desmond Ridder has been quite good. That was Edwards on the catch. 1st and 10. Out to the outside, he's got a man. Did he get his feet in bounds? And they're saying that he did not. Out of bounds on that reception as Desmond Ridder's going to change up the formation here out of the gun. It's almost 9 p.m. here on the West Coast, Wendell. So it's not quite that, not nearly as late for me as it is for most of our fan base of Nagy on Sports. But I wanted to get these out, this game, and then we've got the other game of the week, which is a big, massive matchup as first down here for Atlanta with that little stick route, just enough to get across the line there. Zacharias' first catch of the day. But the other game of the week is going to be, I was starting to mention, is a big game between the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And that one has been pre-recorded as well. I'm going to try to get that one out tomorrow on the channel, so look for that. I will announce it on the Discord before I go live, of course. Throwing the ball away, there is Desmond Ridder. He had kind of climbed the pocket, looked like he could have taken off, but instead elects to just throw it out of bounds. 2nd and 10. Out to the outside, he's got Pitts, and Pitts is going to fight for yards there. That was a nice little run after catch, and then some additional yards after contact for the big tight end in his second year. Off his back foot is Ridder. He's got a man, but unable to come up with the ball is his man, number 89. I'm not sure who that is on their roster. I do apologize. I am not the best with either of these rosters, so I don't know either of these rosters nearly as well as Phil does. He knows all of these guys and their names and is much better at this than I am in that regard. But I'll do the best that I can. That would be interesting if Michigan was able to get a contract with Alabama like that. I hadn't heard anything like that, but that would be interesting to be sure, as Carson Wentz is going to take a big sack. And Carter in on that one. 2nd and 18 now for the Commanders. Now, force 3 ticks on the game clock, or the play clock, with the snap, and it looks like they're just going to take this one, or try to take this one to halftime, although a timeout is called by Atlanta, looking to try to get the ball back because they think they're going to get good field position after the 3rd and 16 attempt, and they do run the ball, so Atlanta will spend a second timeout and see if they can't do something with the field position they're going to get out of this punt from the end zone. And the punt is away, fielded at just in front of the 30 there, and only able to return about 6 or 7 yards for Cordell Patterson. Yes, Kitchen, I think Abercrombie is going to be a big part of the offense as well. I think I think it's very telling that that's the one player that Coach Stefanski, when asked who he expected to take a big step, that was the guy he mentioned specifically as a ball out to Pitts very quickly. Now 14 of 22 for 94 yards is Desmond Ridder, 2nd and 5. A lot of underneath stuff for these Atlanta Falcons as they get the ball out to Pitts again. That one short of the line, only 15 seconds, so they're going to burn their last timeout, looking to try to get at least into field goal range, but they need to at least use the sidelines now. No timeouts left for Atlanta. 3rd and 1. Out to the outside, he's got Pitts again. He's going to get tackled inbounds. 10 ticks of the clock. Do they have enough time? No, they do not. Not even able to get the snap off. So they will go into the locker room there. And a very low-scoring game here in this one as Washington leads 7-3 to start the second half. So Washington will start with the ball from their 25 as the kick goes through the end zone. And they will take this lead from the half, 7-3, and see what they can do with their first drive of the second half. A little delayed handoff up the middle to Gibson, and he is going to be quickly tackled there for a loss of 2 as the defense penetrated very quickly on that one. 2nd and 12. Back to pass. He swings it out to the outside. Actually, there's an out route there from Carson Wentz, only able to pick up 3 there to Thomas, his second reception of the day. 3rd and 9. Back to pass, pressure coming, he's going to scramble, he's going to carry, he's got some room, but a lot of work to do, not able to get to the line to gain, so we're going to have a 4th and 5 and a punt here, so the Commanders will go 3 and out on their first drive of the second half. Man, I would love the Browns' offense to being number 2 or 3 in the NFL this coming season. I think that's maybe a mite too high in terms of I don't think there's so many other good offenses out there. I mean, I'd love it. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible by any means. They've got the talent to do it, as that one was out of bounds. 2nd and 10 here for Atlanta. I think they got the talent. They've got to come together. That's going to be the biggest thing. You've got a quarterback with receivers he has never worked with, coaching staff, playbook he's never worked with. Coming into the system now, Watson is great. As Pitt's going to pick up 8 yards here, a 3rd and 2. Deshaun is great. I think he'll pick it up quickly. I think he's going to be very, very good. But the chemistry takes a while for anybody. And outside of maybe Tom Brady, you don't just go into a new system and pick up as if you had always played with those guys and go to a Super Bowl and win necessarily. And I'm not saying that's not possible at the end of the season, but at the beginning of the season, there's some growing pains there, I think. So we'll see. I don't know that we'll be able to do that, but potentially late in the season we may be a top 5 offense. By the time the offense has really had time to gel and come together. So I'm hopeful for that. It's a very nice run up the middle from Cordell Patterson there, finding a crease and able to get some significant yards. But the defense, that unit has been together for a whole year and really returning pretty much everybody of importance in that unit on all the key positions. Really, 9 out of 11 players that were starters are being returned to that unit. So as an incomplete pass there from Desmond Ridder, 2nd and 10. I expect that unit could be top 5 in the NFL, and if so, potentially even early in the season. And I'd love to see them be the top 3, 2, maybe even best defense in the NFL, which would be awesome. Now they got to get some turnovers to make that happen, as the pressure is going to get home here, and that's Montez Sweat's 2nd sack of the day, bringing up a 4th and 14. Yeah, if they are, Wendell, they have more potential, I think, to be highly, highly rated in the NFL than the offense this season. Maybe later seasons we may be talking, they may be a little bit different. We'll see how well they gel. But the defense has at least already had the opportunity to start that communication, the gel, getting everybody playing together, playing fast, knowing the playbook, all that kind of stuff. So, they've got more of an opportunity to do that early, which, is important if you're going to be, sustain that over the course of the season, especially injuries, big part of that. Whether they get turnovers is a big part of that. But if they're able to do so and remain relatively injury-free, I think they've got a good potential for that. As this punt's going to get touchdown, a nice punt there, touchdown at the 7, I believe. Yeah, Kishin, unfortunately that ship has sailed as Akeem Hicks signed with the Buccaneers just recently, so he will not be a Brown. That would have been a scary combination, though, certainly, but I think he might have been a little bit more expensive than the Browns were really looking to pay. He ended up signing for a 1-year, $10 million contract. And I mentioned this in the Discord. Pressure right up the middle and fumble. That one's going to be a scoop and score. Fumbled in a very bad position there from Wentz, and I do believe that one was out. He was standing upright. The question is, was his arm coming forward, or was that a clear fumble? We'll see if they choose to review this one or not. As Wentz is the arm did seem to come forward. I'm not so sure that wasn't an incomplete pass, but I guess the tuck rule kind of in effect there as the ball got cut up on the back of the defender in that effort. And Carter was the one with the scoop and score for the Falcons. I think that one's going to stand, and it does. So a quick turn of events here makes the score soon to be 10-7 in favor of Atlanta. That's a big momentum shift. As you can see, that momentum is fully in the Falcons' favor now. Yeah, Carson doing Carson things. I agree, Kishan, absolutely. But yeah, so that grouping, unfortunately, not possible anymore. I like I mentioned in the Discord, I was starting to say, I think it's very likely at this point, or I think it's highly likely, that the Browns don't actually sign a D-tackle here in the offseason. I think it's more likely they're going to try to see what they've got with their young guys. Remember, we've got Tommy Togiai there. We've got Jordan Elliott there. They want to see what those guys bring. Brought in Some other guys in that position just drafted Perrion Winfrey as well. So some young talent to look at and some older guys that they trust in that room as well. And Taven Bryan brought in as well, which they think they can get something out of him. So there is some optimism with the guys they have, I believe. I think they're hoping to groom some of those guys into more substantial roles on the defense. As Wentz is back to pass, got a Terry McLaurin back to the ball, and he does get back around and up the field for some additional yardage and a first down. But I do think that it's more likely we won't see a signing in the D-tackle room. They'll go with the guys they have, and then later in the season, before the trade deadline, if it looks like, as Carson Wentz escapes the pocket there, scrambles for a number of yards, call it 3. I think, if they're looking like they think all that they're missing to make a Super Bowl run late in the season before the trade deadline is a D-tackle, if that's what they feel is needed, as Carson Wentz will pick up the first down with his legs there, call it about gain of 9 on the scramble. If that's the case, then that's when I would expect them to go try to bolster the D-tackle room. If they don't think it's working out with the guys they have, they think that they're like one D-tackle short of making a run. That's where I'd expect them to make that kind of change. Or alternatively, if they get through the season and are very happy with the D-tackle room and the way it's developed, they may do nothing. So I think they're going in hoping that they don't have to do anything, and then if they feel like that's the only position holding them back, then they very well make that change. But I don't expect that to happen until sometime mid-season, mid to mid-late season. Yeah, no, I agree, Kishan. I think that is the case. I don't go in assuming that Watson will get suspended though. So, it's possible he doesn't ever get suspended. It's also possible that all suspensions, if coming, will not come until after the civil case has been resolved, which could be a couple years down the road, potentially. So we'll see. Deep pass out of bounds from Wentz, and no chance there for his receiver. So that'll be 4th and 9, and the punt unit's going to come out here. So, the Falcons are going to take over at their own 9 after a nice punt to back them up deep in their own territory. Yeah, I agree, Wendell. I think it's going to be late. As Cordell Patterson, big hole there, and he's able to get a quick 12 yards to the second level very quickly on that run. And he's going to pick up a first down on first, which is a good recipe for success and something we haven't seen a lot of here from the Falcons. So nice run up the middle there for Cordell Patterson. 1st and 10 out of the gun. He finds Pitts on the stick route out to the outside. Only a pickup of 1 though, as he was very quickly tackled. His 7th reception now on the day for the big tight end. Back to pass, Ritter surveying. He's got a man out to the outside. That's Cordell Patterson, and quickly out of bounds. 3rd and 6 after a pickup of 4. Yes, Kishan, I think there's a high potential that Schwartz is unlocked, in fact, by Watson. I think Watson is the type of quarterback. A nice reception out on the outside. Look at the hands there to go snag that one out of the air as Zacchaeus, I guess is how you would say that, is able to just snatch that out of the air. Carson Wentz just kind of put it Desmond Ritter, kind of put it in a nice spot where he could just snag that on his route, and the slight receiver able to come up with a nice reception and some additional yards down the field. Yes, Keith, late night tonight. I needed to get some of these games in, and unfortunately been a little bit busy. Phil had pre-recorded 2 games prior to going on vacation there in Georgia, so he left a couple of pre-recorded for me so that I could call the games when I was available. I hadn't had a lot of availability till now, so a late one in tonight, and then try to get to another one tomorrow. We've got the Chargers taking on Kansas City tomorrow. Is when I'll try to get to that tomorrow, as Edwards is going to get a big first down there for Atlanta. Now 114 yards for Atlanta on the passing game. And that's Edwards' second catch of the day. But as he was wide open, saw the picture there. He was just in a big hole in that zone, and Edwards takes advantage quickly. But yeah, so a late one here, but taking advantage of the pre-recorded games games of the week that Phil got for me here, and we want to get to one here tonight, and then hopefully the second tomorrow before Phil gets back later in the week. Not too long now, so he'll be back, and we'll be continuing to push more content on the channel. 2nd and 9 here for Desmond Ritter out of the gun. Found a man outside near the sideline. Looks like he did make that catch. Or, yeah, 3rd and 6. So Edwards, that's his 3rd reception now for 33 yards for him. Back to pass. Airing it deep. He's got a man. That's Pitts. Touchdown, Atlanta. Wow, what a ball that was. Pitts just kind of leaped for it there, able to get his feet underneath him and take it into the end zone on that one. That was a nice throw from Desmond Ritter. Just kind of that looping ball here. You're going to get a nice look at it. He gets that looping ball, just kind of aired it out. Nice little touch pass drop right in the basket for Pitts, who just kind of leaps, gets his feet underneath him, and carries that right into the end zone for a touchdown. And Atlanta is all the momentum now, as they're going to go up 17-7 here with 2:59 left in the 3rd quarter. And yes, so far, Christian Ritter has been better than Wentz in this game significantly. So Atlanta going to kick it off here, and we'll see how Carson Wentz and the Commanders will respond. Still only down 10 points here with a few minutes left in the 3rd quarter. But they certainly they need to get something going. They've been a bit anemic on the offense. Not a lot going on for them, and a lot of pressure on Wentz, as he has been, the O-line has not held up very well. Over the middle, he's got his man. That's his big tight end rumbling down the middle of the field. Lots of room to work. And that was the best reception and run after catch of the day for Washington. Now with 114 yards, that was Bates with the catch, his 2nd of the day. Big first down for the Washington Commanders. As you're going to see, I would have seen him there turn around to sit in the coverage of the zone. Back to pass is Wentz. He scrambles trying to climb the pocket and quickly tackled Carter right there, and he is going to sack Carson Wentz. 2nd and 13. All right, Kishan, good night. We'll see you next time. We'll try to go live tomorrow sometime, probably a little bit more reasonable time tomorrow for everyone. Apologize for the late one, but appreciate you being here for it. 2nd and 13, out of the gun. Back to pass, and he's got a man out to break an out route, and does connect there for a pickup of about 3 on that one. 3rd and 7. Yeah, cold beer sounds great right about now. I absolutely agree. See, screen to the left side, and Gibson's going to get swallowed up really quickly there. 4th and 10. He loses 3 yards on that reception. So Washington not able to respond here after the Atlanta touchdown. So we're going to have yet another punt from the Washington Commanders. And yes, in fact, a cold beer sounds so good, Wendell. I think that's the first thing I'll do after shutting down this broadcast, is going to get a cold beer. Sounds really good. So we're going to get a little highlight reel of the sacks on Desmond Ritter. There have been a number of them, as the D-line for Washington has been absolutely the highlight for them, as they have gotten home quite a bit in this one, getting definitely causing some turmoil here for the rookie passer for Atlanta, as he does elect to change the formation here. Out of the gun, 1st and 10, little fake to the left, and he's going to get sacked yet again. Speak of the devil, there it is, and Payne gets his 2nd in this game. Now 2nd and 18 after the big sack from Payne. And the pressure in his face very quickly. He turned around and bam, Payne was right there. So not a lot he could do out of that one, as his O-line has been a bit porous in this one. Now out of the gun, 2nd and 18. Surveying the field, and this one is going to get batted down as the pressure was there again in his face, disrupting that play. And Desmond Ridder not able to overthrow the outstretched hands of the D-line. 3rd and 18, out to pass, and he does find a man out to the outside, but unable to do much with it is Pitts, and unfortunately that's going to be another punt for Atlanta as he was well short of the line to gain. So, at the start of the 4th quarter, the Atlanta Falcons are going to punt from the 10. And so that's going to give the Washington Commanders nice field position here as Dotson is under that one with a fair catch. 1st and 10 from their own 44. Very nice field position here for Carson Wentz. He's got to do something here with this drive before it is too late. Back to pass. Airs it deep, and that's doing something with the ball as he finds Gibson way downfield and able to connect with his running back on that one. 1st and 10, and that was a breath of fresh air for Atlanta, who has been, for Wentz and the Commanders, who have definitely been struggling on the offensive side of the ball. All right, Keith. Thanks for joining us for your smoke break. Enjoy work again, and hopefully you'll be able to watch the rest of this one later. But thanks for joining us for the time you could. Oh, man, if Nick Chubb wins the rushing title, that would be awesome. I've been wanting that for him for a long time. It would be great to get him into the Pro Bowl, the All-Pro team, because he's been so deserving every year and just overlooked, in my opinion. He's, the best running back, bar none, in the NFL. I think he has been that since he came in as a delayed handoff to Gibson there. He's able to find some yardage up the middle. But I think he's been absolutely the best running back in the NFL ever since the day he stepped foot out on the field for the Cleveland Browns. And he's got the stats to show it, too. And just completely overlooked. 3rd and 8 now for Wentz. Back to pass. And he's going to scramble out to the outside, but then decide to throw it away instead of risking continuing with the ball. And now the Commanders going to line up for a 52-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, the kick is long enough, and the kick is good. So that can make the score 17-10, putting Washington back within striking distance at least, but still not what you want to see, especially with field position as good as that was. You don't want to settle for a field goal there. So still a 7-point deficit here in this one, as you're going to rely on your defense once more to come up big and hoping that pressure continues to get home to Desmond Ridder. 1st and 10 under center, I formation, bringing his tight end in motion is Desmond Ridder. Handoff to Cordell Patterson, and very, very quickly snuffed out by Allen on the tackle. And a nice TFL from him as he was able to shed his blocker quickly and create that disruption in the backfield. 2nd and 12. Out of the gun, back to pass. Pressure coming, but he does throw that one away in time, does Desmond Ridder. 3rd and 12. All right, back to pass. Desmond Ridder surveying, not liking what he's seeing. He's going to get smoked there. 3rd sack for the day for Payne as he collects his hat trick on the day. And that's just what you needed if you're the Washington Commanders. You needed your defense to stand tall. They do. Big sack here from Payne to complete the hat trick, and he is able to force this punt, which gives your offense one more crack to try to even this one up. And hopefully they're able to do more than just settle for a field goal, because they really need some fireworks here. Dotson elects to fair catch again, but Carson Wentz is going to have, yet again, a crack with great field position here, as he is going to start right at midfield at his own 49. Out of the ace formation, bringing a man in motion, and the wham concept up the middle for Gibson, and he's able to pick up some yardage there, so he picks up 3 yards on the carry. Evans in on the tackle, and the Commanders have managed to chip away a little bit at this momentum for the Falcons, and now with an opportunity to really swing it in their favor if they can pull out a touchdown here. Scrambling is Wentz. He's got a man. It does connect. I thought for a minute that was going to be picked, but instead he does manage to find his receiver there on that one, does Carson Wentz. I didn't think that was going to work out. That was Curtis Samuel, though, who is able to come up with that ball. Wentz back to pass on 1st and 10. Long time in this packet, just not able to get there is the pressure, and he's finally going to elect to escape and run upfield. I don't know what took him so long. He probably should have done that a lot sooner, but able to pick up 7 yards on the scramble as Carson Wentz, 2nd and 3. Heavy formation right. He's got back to pass. Again, pressure not doing much as the Falcons only bringing 3, and Terry McLaurin, the recipient here on this one of a deep strike down the field for the Commanders. And now the Commanders have their first and goal of the game from the 10-yard line, finally doing something productive with the drive. Looking good here on this one. But they really need to punch it in. Settling for a field goal here is not going to be a recipe for success. They need to get a touchdown here and try to swing that momentum fully in their favor. Back to pass for Carson Wentz. He's got a man out to the outside. That's T-Mac, but not a lot of yardage there as he was very quickly tackled. So we'll call that one a pickup of 1 yard, 2nd and goal from the 9. From under center, Wentz got it out to the outside, and he's got his tight end, Sims. 3rd and goal. Or excuse me, Bates on the reception. Back to pass for Wentz. Pressure in his face. He's got a man, but unable to get it down. He just aired the ball a little too high. So Washington going to elect to go for it from the 4 on 4th and goal. Pressure coming in. Wentz going to take a big sack. Turnover on downs. And that one is going to get blown up before it could be completed. And that's a big blow to the Washington Commanders as they elect to go for it on 4th and unable to come away with any points. Over the middle of the field is Desmond Ridder hitting his man. Nice strike there to London, his 4th reception on the day, as the rookie-to-rookie connection there bears yet more fruit. So 1st and 10 for Atlanta. Desmond Ridder surveys, finds a man, connects with his tight end Pitts for a 5-yard pickup. 2nd and 5. So in the game, Wendell, it's still the Washington football team as Desmond Ridder is going to take a big sack here, and Montez Sweat comes away with a half a sack on that one for 2.5 on the day. 3rd and 16. But no, not in the game. It's still the Washington football team. They haven't been dubbed the Commanders yet in the game, as it looks like Chase Young with the other half of the sack there, as Sweat and Young combine to get the rookie quarterback. Welcome to the league. 3rd and 16. Out of the gun. Pressure coming, but he unloads. He's got Pitts, but a lot of work to do. Unable to get a first down there is the big tight end. 4th and 12, and Washington's going to get another crack with just under 6.5 here in the game. They should have about 6 minutes to try to put a drive together to even this one back up. And that's where taking that field goal instead of going for it on 4th down may have been a boon, because this would have potentially been a game-winning drive potential instead of now just trying for a tie with the ball, with yet again good field position on your own 40 for Carson Wentz. So 1st and 10 from the 40, under center for Carson Wentz. Single back. He's back to pass, throws to his open man Curtis Samuel out on the outside. 2nd and 3 after a pickup of 7 on the reception to Samuel. Out of the gun, Gibson on his hip. T-Mac on the left side of this formation. And climbing the pocket is Wentz, but he's going to fumble a ball out, and Atlanta recovers that one. That could be the ball game, depending on what happens here, but not a lot of time left in this one with a one-score game, especially with as badly as Washington has been playing on offense. That might be all that Atlanta needs to wrap this one up. That is Washington's 3rd turnover. 2 picks for, 2 fumbles for Carson Wentz, 1 pick, and then obviously the scoop and score earlier in this one from about the 2-yard line. 2nd and 10 now for Desmond Ridder. Pressure coming, but he's going to try to unload to the screen, but throws it at his feet for Cordell Patterson instead. 3rd and 10. Bunch formation to left, back to pass. Desmond Ridder finds a man out to the outside. He's got Cordell Patterson for a short pickup, and he gets that. Actually, I guess there was call it a no gain on the reception. 4th and 10, and back to punt. So damage being averted there of the turnover, and really all it costs them is their good field position here as Dotson takes the punt, because the defense stood tall yet again and forced a 3 and out. So no damage to that from that fumble, and an opportunity with 4.5 left in this one to still tie the ball game and potentially force an overtime if they can get down the field and actually punch it into the end zone. Out of the gun, trips to the right, and pressure coming. Quick sack. That is the 4th sack for Carter in this one, as he has had quite a day feasting in the backfield on Carson Wentz. So, 2nd and 19. Out of the gun for Carson Wentz. Quick throw out to the outside. That's T-Mac. Not a lot of room, though, and he is quickly tackled for not a big gain on that one. There's not much doing and only able to pick up a couple. 3rd and 18. Back to pass. Airing it deep is Carson Wentz. He's got a man. Jump ball situation. T-Mac. Did he catch it? He did. 1st down. Wow, what a catch that was. Now, 8 receptions for him, 98 yards. And that, a big, big chunk of it is that was just an air ball that was thrown up high. And T-Mac, climbed the ladder to come down with that one. Really impressive contested catch from Terry McLaurin. The throw in the inside, just taking advantage of the softness in the zone there. And yet another 1st down for the Commanders, as now over 200 yards passing for Washington, and that one was Sims. Pressure coming, and that's going to be another sack, as Adebike is able to get home for his 1st sack of the day. Now 10 sacks for Washington and 7 for Atlanta. It has been a sack-laden game. 2nd and 16. And the 2-minute warning. Back to pass is Carson Wentz out to the outside. He's got his man. That's Gibson, able to make the catch, but not a lot of yardage. And they're now going to hurry up. 3rd and 11, a minute 37 left. They've got to force this downfield quickly. Down the field they go, but only a defender sitting there, no receiver, and that's an easy interception. That's not the kind of forcing the ball downfield that I was talking about. And unfortunately, that is all she wrote, as Atlanta's going to get out of here with a victory in an ugly, ugly contest between the Falcons and the Commanders. And Atlanta's going to win at home after that ugly interception from Wentz. And I don't know if the receiver was on a different page or what, but didn't work out in the scramble drill there. And Wentz just kind of, I don't know if he's trying to throw it out of the back of the end zone and just didn't see the defender or didn't get it high enough or what, but it was ugly. Only the defender standing there. And so an interception at the back of the end zone. 3rd and 9 here. in the full chew clock mode, and that's a first down, timeout taken, but it's too late, and this ball game is all but over as the victory formation comes out in 1st and 10 on 1 minute and 18 seconds left, and Desmond Ridder going to take that victory kneel. So, Atlanta able to come away with this big win for them. Their very surprisingly good season continues as they're going to continue out of here with a 5-3 mark now, as the Washington Commanders are going to drop to 4-3. And so we'll take a quick look at the stats. Phil, when he recorded this, took us through. So there we have Desmond Ridder's day. It was pretty good for him. Cordell Patterson, 44 yards. Pitts, 12 receptions, 96. London, 4 for 48. So some pretty good receiving there for those guys. And then we're going to see some 12 tackles, or 10 tackles for Jones, and 4 sacks for Carter, 2 for Evans, 2 for Jones, 1 for Edebike there late in the game, and 1 for Oliver as well. So here's Carson Wentz's day, 26 of 37 for 269 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and the one very late there in that game. And then we're going to see the rushing, a lot of rushes from Wentz on that one. Terry McLaurin with a good day, 8 for 98 yards, and then some others there involved on as well. And then total tackles, Jamin Davis leading the way with 12. So good day for the young linebacker there. Payton with 3 sacks, 2.5 for Montez Sweat, 1 for Allen, and a half sack for Young. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Wendell. We appreciate you being on, and as always, we had fun bringing this to you, or I certainly did, and Phil recorded it earlier, so we thank him for that, and thanks everyone for being here for this one. It was a fun one. It was not the best game we've ever seen, but certainly fun bringing it to you, as Atlanta is going to come away with that win, so let's say go Falcons. But as always, go Browns!